Hey everyone, Skull902 here, back for another part of Yoshi's Island. This is part 7. We're getting into the second half of the game now with the first half of World 4. Less worlds in this than the traditional Mario game, but all the same fun. And the same track that I'm going to be going on for the commentary too, because it's still the Christmas season, so, still plenty of Christmas memories and stuff to talk about. I didn't mean for, the Christmas special spiel to go on this long, but, whatever. It helps me save some commentary time, so, so real quick, I do want to mention a couple more specials and videos and stuff that I like to watch during these times. Let's just run through them. The first is Mickey's Christmas Carol, which is like a theatrical little movie released by Disney in 1983. Where it's basically just a retelling of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. It's a fun one. I feel. They didn't just make it totally depressing or anything. It's the kind of fun that you would expect out of Disney, and all the characters are played by various ones from the Mickeyverse, including, of course, Scrooge McDuck as his namesake, Ebenezer Scrooge. It's a good time, and there's a couple interesting production notes about that one too, where I believe it was Wayne Allwine's first major performance as Mickey Mouse, as well as Alan Young's first major performance of Scrooge. Which both fantastic choices, particularly Alan Young. He was like the perfect fucking voice for Scrooge McDuck. My God. Fun times abound with that one. Would recommend seeing it. The second one that I have here is Christmas Every Day, the first Christmas episode of my favorite Nicktoon of all time, The Fairly Odd Parents. So basically, the story of that one is that Timmy Turner wishes from his fairies that Christmas occurred every day. And that's not just because he gets a shitload of presents, but also because, he wants to spend some more time with his parents, as opposed to with his abusive babysitter Vicky. But doing that wish, or making that wish rather, has some undue consequences, because it puts a lot of stress on Santa to have to deliver presents to all the kids in the world every single day. I hear the fuzzies again. But it also doesn't help the fairies either, because they give some of their magic to Santa to help him with, the delivery job. So they're kind of SOL having to do that every day, which means that the wish can't simply be unwished. Timmy has to venture to the North Pole and deliver him notes from all the kids around the world, wishing that Christmas did in fact not take place every single day. But oh boy. Okay, so here's what my friend Weege calls naked rock. Looks like a topless woman. Interesting that they put that in the game. But anyway, the mascots of other major holidays, such as Easter or April Fools, they're after Santa, so Timmy has to stop them as well. It's a fun special with a good little song in it. It's a good time. It's a good time. Would recommend, every other thing that I'm talking about here. So next up, A Muppet Family Christmas. Now, the Muppets were pretty fucking big in the 70s and the 80s. A lot of projects, and that one's about basically a bunch of characters from The Muppet Show, Sesame Street, and they meet up with the Fraggles as well. They get stuck in this old house and have to spend their Christmas together. And, you know, just learn to love each other a little bit, you know? It's a fun, heartwarming special. I think that there's a lot of good little moments in there. It's a fun one, definitely. And the little bit with Miss Piggy and whether or not she's going to be there. It all leads to some fun, heartwarming stuff. So that's one that I typically watch every year. With Rabbit and Josh specifically. But speaking of Rabbit, again, you know, I mentioned how we watch the Power Rangers Christmas stuff. God, that was a terrible draw. We watch Power Rangers Christmas specials every year, but we also give Sailor Moon some attention as well. The first thing that I want to mention there is this wonderful music video made by the channel Sailor Moon Says that unfortunately isn't down anymore. It was taken down this year by Toei because basically it was like a shitpost channel featuring clips from like the original English dub, and even though it was pretty harmless, Toei was like, nah, can't do it, copyright. So unfortunately the channel went, but surprisingly, for someone who mostly just like straight up posted clips from the show, she also had some good video editing skills too, because this is like a rather pleasant music video of the song Last Christmas as sung by Rei Hino from a Japanese exclusive Christmas album, and the voice actress does a good job too. Like, apparently she's fluent in English, so that probably helps, but that's aside from the point. It's like a fun little music video. It's very Rei-centric. Just showing a bunch of clips, and I think it's supposed to be like something of a shipping thing with her and Usagi, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But it's a fun little thing that Rabbit and I watch every year, and I have archived due to the whole channel being shut down thing. So we'll be able to continue watching it in years to come. But the next Sailor Moon thing that we watch is kind of like one of those technicality things, because the opening takes place on Christmas, but I don't care. It still counts. It's like the snow rule. It's a technicality, but it's good enough for me. But for the live-action tokusatsu show, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, they did like a bit of a special after the show proper ended. That was included as a DVD extra with the movie. And it tells the origins of Sailor Venus. So Minako Aino, who would eventually become Sailor Venus, is like a pop star who's kind of lost in life. She's wondering if she has any real purpose. So like she's wondering about that, and then she meets my fucking boy Artemis, who tells her that yes, indeed, she does have purpose, and then she becomes Sailor V to train for her like eventual sort of role on the Sailor Guardians. So she discovers her like newfound powers, becomes a hero, and starts to clean up some crime in the streets, where that leads to her meeting a jewel thief that's been making the rounds, known only as Tuxedo Kamen. So it's a fun little thing. It's got some nice action. It's pretty short, but it doesn't need to be all that long. That, and I like the special care that they put into it too. Like it ties directly into the beginning of the show proper at the very end, and they also changed some graphics and stuff, like the title card of the show has Sailor Moon like sailing across the screen, and Luna following her, but it's changed to Sailor V and Artemis. I love it. It's a fun time. Probably the rarest of all the things that I've talked about, but with some looking around, you can definitely find it. But yeah, that out of the way, I would like to talk about some gaming-specific Christmas memories. So not like specials or anything, but just like, you know, how has Christmas been to me as a gamer? So I've got some notes here about stuff to talk about in that respect. The earliest one that I can remember is back in 1999, Pokemon was a bit of a phenomenon. You know, it was fucking everywhere. And that was the year that my family first got access to the internet as well. So one day my mom was on Amazon, and she was trying to ask us kids, you know, what we wanted for the holiday. Also, this is a risky jump that I took here. Glad that it paid off. But I saw a Pikachu plush when she was asking, and I was like, yo, I want that Pikachu. Please, Mom, can I have it? So, you know, I was going into Christmas fully expecting that Pikachu. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Not because my mom didn't get the Pikachu, but because she got it and it was a gift for my older brother, so I was pretty fucking salty about that. You know, I was the one that asked for Pikachu. God damn it. I should have been gifted Pikachu. But, you know, whatever. We still have that Pikachu, by the way. So it's been with us ever since. And then the next year, what I remember is, like, I think I've mentioned it before, but my brothers would tease me every now and then about the stuff that I liked that they didn't. So, in those instances, even though, like, there was nothing that they liked that I didn't, so I had to, like, pick one to suddenly stop liking, and that was Pokemon. For whatever reason, Pokemon was the most expendable of my interests. So the next year, when my dad got me like some Pokemon shirts or whatever, I was like, oh man, I don't like Pokemon, and he was actually kind of apologetic. So I think that he understood where I was coming from and why I was acting like that. So, you know, good on my dad. But that's just a little brief memory. The next year, of course, 2001, is the story of how I got my Super Nintendo and how I became a gamer. Basically, my mom made a friend online. They visited, and, you know, became really good friends. She asked my mom if she wanted her Super Nintendo to give to us kids for Christmas. My mom said yes. And so, you know, we got the system, and many games, among which, of course, was Super Mario All-Stars Plus World, and that I consider my catalyst into gaming. You know, that's what made me a gamer, but I've ranted about that particular event enough, so I think that little short summary is all you really need. So, yeah. 2002, I don't really remember, like, gaming-specific things on the day itself, but, I do remember, I got, like, my Game Boy Color, as a Christmas gift. It was, like, an early Christmas gift on Thanksgiving, and I believe it was my uncle's, Game Boy Color. I had been jealous for a long time, that my two brothers had Game Boys of their own. And they were playing Pokemon and stuff like that, but I was just left out of the loop in that respect. So, I think my uncle had pity for me and gifted me his Game Boy Color. Which came with a very unremarkable fishing game that I don't remember at all. I never got my own copies of Pokemon, but years later, I would get to borrow my brother's copy of Silver, and I've talked about that before, too. That doesn't really have much to do with Christmas, but, yeah. The year afterward, 2003, was a pretty significant time. It was around Christmas, where, like, the consoles that we had that were at my dad's, like, he delivered them back to us. We were living at my grandma's house at the time. So, just in time for the holidays, we got our gaming consoles back, and even though I was kind of out of gaming at that point, like, it was still nice to get that stuff back. And I played a shitload of Mario over the next few months. Like, basically, that was the only thing that I would play. So I'm fairly certain it was Christmas Day itself, where, like, I remember like being in the living room and playing Mario when family started to come over, and I had to turn it off so that, like, you know, I could actually pay attention to the goings-on and spend some time with my extended family members. So, you know, that's another fun time. You'll find that my memory is pretty good. The next year, 2004, a couple of Christmas events happened then. We got our second GameCube because the first was... like, it was still functional, but the first controller port didn't work after my little sister jammed a Butterfinger bar into the controller port. So, you know, that's not fun. But, like, we got our second GameCube at Toys R Us, and my older brother purports that that we got our copy of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 early. In that transaction, but I looked it up, and the day that we got it was, like, the day after Budokai 2 came out, so... Not entirely sure about that one, about getting the game early. I'm sure the Toys R Us employee would have faced some consequences for that, had that actually been the case, but we did indeed get our second GameCube, and that was a fun time. So, you know, we needed some games for it. So in a separate shopping trip, I remember my mom taking me to Walmart, and a couple of my siblings were there, and my cousin was there. That doesn't really matter, but we were shopping for Christmas presents at Walmart. A little odd to be bringing, like, you know, 10 and less year old children to Christmas shop with you, but whatever. So, like, what I remember there was, she was asking, what games I should, or what games I would suggest she get for my two brothers for the holiday, and I was being a little shit, and I trolled by saying Super Smash Bros. Melee, which we already had. And the Mega Man Legacy Collection, even though none of us had any vested interest in Mega Man at the time. And she got them anyway, even after I told her I was joking, before she bought the games, and she was like, nope, don't care. I'm buying them anyway. So we have an extra copy of Melee, and I think Mega Man Legacy Collection got traded in, because none of us got very far in it, and I... blame that partly on how fucking difficult the games are, and the stupid fucking control mechanics. Wow, I did horribly on this one. The stupid control mechanics on or the controller mapping, I should say, because, like, instead of the traditional A is jump, B is shoot, they tried to make it more like the NES controller, I think, because, like... Oh, no, never mind. The NES controller was B on the left and right was A, so, like, it's the exact same on the GameCube controller. So, I don't know what the fuck Capcom's logic there was, but B was jump and A was shoot, and it was really uncomfortable. So, I think eventually we just traded the game in because we weren't playing it much because of those two issues. God, I'm still, like, really perplexed about that one particular the thing, like the controller mapping, because from all I've heard on the PlayStation 2 version, it's normal. So, what the fuck, Capcom? What the fuck? And I think I can squeeze one more in, or a couple more. This is a long-ass level. Basically, the gimmick of it is that there are 4 doors that you go into this central room, and you gotta get the keys from them. So there's a series of doors that you have to unlock, and the keys are in these 4 rooms here. It's one of the longer levels in the game, but it's none too bad in my opinion. So, you know, that out of the way. I don't remember anything from 2005 in terms of gaming and Christmas, but in 2006, my older brother got his Xbox 360. And the thing about that was, like, when we got our original Xbox 3 years prior, my dad was like, okay, this is all of your system, alright? So, you know, it's shared. It's not any one particular of you guys' system. I said that really weird. So, it was my 2 brothers and I had a third ownership of the original Xbox. So, I guess it was firmly established by then that I was the hand-me-down kid, despite being second born. So my older brother knew he was getting a 360. So he and my younger brother came down to the basement, which is where I was, like, situated in our place at the time. Haha. But they were basically like, okay, he's getting a 360. So, you can just have our thirds of the original Xbox. It's fully yours now. So I was like, okay, cool. And they also gave me Big Bumpin', the Burger King game, which was okay. You know, like, whatever. But I do remember frequently playing the original Xbox for a fair bit. Like, you know, Big Bumpin' I would play every now and then. And mostly I would play the original WWF Raw, which I think is a bit of an underrated game. It does lack in features, but at least the gameplay itself is fine, you know? But that's aside from the point. The funny story about that, though, is even though I was frequently playing the original Xbox, at some point, eventually, they took the system back, like a few months later, because the 360 version of the King Kong movie game didn't exactly look the best on CRT TVs. Like, they made that one specifically for HD TVs in terms of the visuals. So my brother grabbed the original Xbox version and was basically like, alright, you've had enough time with the original Xbox. It's mine again. At least, I'm fairly certain that's how it worked. Could be wrong about that, but I think it did have something to do with the 360 version of the King Kong movie game. I remember feeling a little cheated, but that was also around the same time that the N64 was moved to the living room. And also, this is an incredible fucking save right here. But, you know, I started to basically exclusively play the N64, because, you know, it was in the living room, wasn't in my older brother's room, so fuck it. I guess we traded in something of that respect. Even though the system wasn't mine, I still got to play it basically exclusively, and they didn't. So, whatever. And I had more games on the N64 too, so I guess it works out. So yeah, that's just about it for that year. The next year is also pretty unremarkable, actually. 2007. I mentioned the Sonic plushes that I got. You know, my first pieces of Sonic merchandise. I also got Spider-Man 2 for the original Xbox. That was a gift from my little brother. And guess what game I've barely ever played? My older brother commandeered that one, and the most I've ever done in Spider-Man 2 is swing around a bit. So, yeah, that's like my entirety of 2007 Christmas there. I got Spider-Man 2, didn't play it, and then, like, months later, I finally got to swing around a little bit in it. But 2008 is a bit more of a remarkable year for me and Christmas. I already explained about getting the third GameCube because the second had its laser fuck up. Like it stopped reading discs, so I needed a new one, and a new one I got. I also got, like, my copies of Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2. I already had Adventure 2 for the GameCube, but I got DX for the GameCube, and then I got 1 and 2 for the Dreamcast, which I didn't mention in my Sonic Adventure 2 LP. I got the Dreamcast as well, so I prepared for that by getting SA 1 and 2. And much to my dismay, my original Dreamcast didn't fucking work. You know, it would turn on, but I got no picture on the TV. So, you know, that was a bit disheartening and very disappointing. I suppose it wouldn't have mattered much anyway because I didn't get any VMUs. So I wouldn't have been able to save the game, or the games. But that would be rectified a couple months later as, like, makeup Christmas gifts. I got my second Dreamcast and VMUs in February of 2009. So, you know, it took a little while, but I was able to enjoy my Dreamcast. Unfortunately, I haven't enjoyed it, like, much more. I mean, I used to frequently play it, you know, for the first, like, 3.5 years or so that I owned it, but, like, all I had was the 2 Sonic Adventure games. I always said that I needed more, but I never ended up getting more. That needs to change at some point, but that's how I got my Dreamcast. So, yeah. And then the next year, 2009, like, I think I might have mentioned this on stream before, so I'll try to be very quick about it. Like, I got a copy of Sonic Unleashed that year for my birthday, but my mom returned it to GameStop, like, less than a week later because she thought my older brother and I were going to fight over it. So, like, for Christmas that year, I think I told my friend that I started hanging out with that story, and to my surprise, he got me a copy of the game for the 360 for Christmas. But citing that same reason, that I basically figured that my mom would like, trade it in again. I was just like, all right, this is my game, but you can like, keep it for now because you have a 360. You know, until I get my own. So he was like, okay. I wouldn't end up playing the game for another, like, oh goodness, 2.5 years. So, you know, it took a while for me to get a 360. Or no, it was 3.5 years actually. So, yeah, it just took me a while to get a 360, and eventually, in January 2013, I finally got the copy of the game back. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. So it was worth the wait for that Christmas gift. So yeah, even before I received the copy of Unleashed in 2012, I got a few Mario plushes, which I mentioned in my Uberduck video. I got those plushes in anticipation of making a sequel to an exclusive video that I made for one of my friends. That never came to me, but or came to be. That never came to be, but like I still view those as some nice Christmas gifts. I got Luigi and Princess Peach, the Sunny plushes. So like they're very nice quality. Luigi matches the Mario. Peach is also good. So yeah, enjoyable Christmas gifts that particular year. And while there's still some time to waste, actually, nah, there's not. I'll get into the final two things on my list a little later on. So don't you worry about that. I can bore you with Christmas memories in the next part. But here we are on to the mid-boss of World 4. This is Marching Mild. So you may have seen these little guys around in various levels. You can eat them, the small ones, but like you can't stomp on them, or you can't like jump on them normally. You have to stomp, or do the Yoshi bomb, as Melee calls the move. So that's basically the strategy here. There's a giant one, and you have to do the stomp. I'm just gonna call it the stomp to split him up into multiples of himself. And you know, it's a relatively easy one. I feel, even though I think I did lose Baby Mario once, like an idiot. But you know, as long as you know how to aim your jump and press down in midair, then you should be absolutely fine. You know, I'm already like at the last one here, and something I love to do is just hold it in Yoshi's mouth as long as possible. Or I don't think that was as long as possible, actually, but I held it in for longer than I needed to, just to be like, you know, you can choose to end the fight, basically, if you do it that way. But you can also just jump on him and get it over with quicker. But that'll do it for this part. I'll see you in part 8 for the rest of World 4, so see you next time. Thank you for watching.